In the dust-blown heart of Gallo Ridge, where the sun bled itself dry against the jagged horizon and the wind howled like a wounded beast across the open plains, the townsfolk gathered with a tension thicker than gunpowder smoke drifting after a duel. That day was hotter than any man remembered, hot enough to curl the edges of wanted posters and make horses restless in their stalls. People weren't there for cattle, nor for weapons, nor for any usual trade. They were there for her. The girl with the iron cuffs around her wrists and the firestorm brewing behind her eyes. She stood on the wooden platform erected by the infamous Rourke clan, whose brutality had become legend from the Deadman Ridge to the Silverthorn mines. Her name was Lyra Dalton, last survivor of a ranch massacre that no lawman dared investigate, the only living witness to what the Rourkes had done in their pursuit of land, control, and vengeance. They dragged her into town bruised, silent but unbroken, and announced with a wicked grin that she'd be sold to the highest bidder, half price today. Only a grotesque bargain meant to humiliate her and prove their dominance over the terrified town. Men shifted in place, refusing to look her in the eye, refusing even to breathe too loud, because everyone knew what it meant to bid on someone the Rourkes had marked. The sheriff stood back, hand limp beside his badge, fear eating the shine out of it. No one dared speak. No one dared blink. Lyra stared straight ahead, her face dirt-streaked but proud, her heart pounding so loudly she thought they could hear it, though she refused to give them the satisfaction of a single tear. Seconds stretched into eternities as the auctioneer barked the starting price, voice cracking in the dry air. Silence answered him. Even the horses seemed to sense the wrongness of the moment. Another call, another silence. The Rourkes laughed, nudging one another, mocking the trembling crowd. Half price, they repeated. Half price for the girl who thought she could stand against us, and still no one moved. No one except a lone silhouette standing far behind the crowd, leaning against a weather-beaten hitching post like a man deciding whether to join a fight that wasn't his. His hat shadowed his face, his coat whipped gently in the wind, and a single star-shaped scar rested beneath. His jaw like a brand of some long-forgotten war. No one recognized him at first, only that he stood as if danger bored him and time served him rather than the other way around. The wind caught the dust at his feet, spiraling around him like a warning or a welcome. The auctioneer called again, frustration leaking into his voice, and in that breathless, suffocating silence, the stranger raised his hand, slow, deliberate, steady. A gasp rippled through the crowd like a sudden lightning strike. Heads turned. The Rourkes stiffened, eyes narrowing. Lyra froze, blinking once, confusion cracking through her resignation. The stranger stepped forward, each footfall echoing like judgment on the wooden planks, and as he lifted his head and the crowd finally saw his face, someone whispered the name that would change everything. It's Colt Maddox, the outlaw who disappeared after the Harrow Creek massacre. The Rourkes paled. Colt's reputation was a legend whispered in saloons and prison yards, a man known not just for survival but for retaliation. He stopped at the front of the platform and locked eyes with Lyra, not with pity, but with recognition, as if he'd seen that same fire in his own reflection years ago. "I'll take her," he said, voice low but carrying across the dusty square with unshakable certainty. Every muscle in the Rourkes' bodies tensed. Every gun on every hip twitched. Every hope in every terrified heart dared flicker alive. And Lyra, for the first time since her capture, felt something she thought she'd lost. The possibility of rescue, of justice, of vengeance. But she also felt something else. Something that made her chest tighten. Fear not of the Rourkes, but of what this stranger might unleash. Colt Maddox didn't raise his hand to save her. He raised it to start a war.